Nadszedł czas zmiany, przejścia do prawdziwego działania wszechświata. I nadszedł czas, aby zrozumieć, że używamy stanu materii, by osiągnąć poziom zrozumienia duszy człowieka. Teraz rozumiesz, być może, dlaczego Kreator wysłał swoich posłańców w imię tego, co miałeś. To oni przynoszą uszy, aby można było ich użyć, gdy nadejdzie czas Mesjasza. Mogę nauczyć duszę i przesłanie. Nie by się przeciwstawiać, ale poprzez ich zrozumienie, przez tych, którzy stali się Mesjaszami, aby dawać ze swoich dusz, aby ich elewować. Zadanie stało się łatwe. Szkoła jest tutaj i uczniowie są tutaj w oddaniu. Wtedy nie będzie żadnej walki między tym, co nazywają muzułmanami, a chrześcijanami. Baranek i lew będą jeść i spać w tym samym gnieździe. Chrześcijanie i muzułmanie będą spać i modlić się w meczecie, w tym samym kościele, w imię ich dusz, nie w imię religii, które są używane do tworzenia tak wielu konfliktów, dla korzyści tych, którzy byli hiperaktywnymi dziećmi. Nadszedł czas, czas zmian jest tutaj. I jak powiedziałem, moje życzenie jest moim rozkazem. Jeśli pragniesz ujrzeć pokój, droga pokoju jest wyłożona bardzo wyraźnie. To dusza świadomości zbiorowej. Poprzez dawanie stworzy tą pozycję zmiany. Nic innego. W duszy człowieka nie ma długopisu. Jestem pewien, że po wejściu do społeczności uniwersalnej nigdy nie zobaczysz niczego zapisanego, ale równowagę pól duszy egzystencji. Staraj się być na tyle pokornym, aby nie stać się aroganckim w mocy, którą zrozumiałeś i posiadłeś. Inaczej wpadniesz w tą samą ścieżkę kościoła i meczetu. To jest to, co obiecaliśmy i to właśnie dostarczyliśmy. Musimy zrozumieć działanie duszy. I musimy zrozumieć, że dusza człowieka jest gwiazdą w kosmosie wszechświata. Jeśli porównamy duszę człowieka i tak wielu nas, 7 miliardów w jednym zbiorze, Ziemia jest jak galaktyka z tak wieloma gwiazdami. Kiedy patrzymy w głąb wszechświata, widzimy galaktyki z setkami milionów gwiazd. Podobnie jest z planetą Ziemią. Niesie 7 miliardów pięknych gwiazd, które są duszą człowieka. Niesie z sobą duszę tak wielu trylionów zwierząt, roślin i wszystkiego innego. Jeśli więc patrzą ci, którzy nie widzą fizyczności Ziemi i jej zawartości, co widzą? Widzą galaktykę z wielką ilością pięknych, świecących świateł. Każda według swojej siły. Każda zgodnie ze swoją pozycją. Niemowlę ma piękną duszę, podobnie jak staruszek. Dla tych niefizycznych, którzy nie widzą fizycznego wymiaru tej planety, ale widzą siłę pola, jesteśmy gromadami gwiazd. Ludzka rasa, każda pojedyncza dusza, nikt z daleka nie widzi. To jest dusza rybaka, to jest dusza kosmologa, to jest dusza prezydenta. Wszystkie świecą bez względu na fizyczność. To jest magia. Oto co nowa nauka musi przynieść człowiekowi. Kiedy patrzymy przez naszą duszę, widzimy tylko gwiazdy w innych duszach. I to jest przełom. To jest zrozumienie. Na tym właśnie polegają te wszystkie nauki. Dojście do dojrzałości następnego poziomu, aby zrozumieć daleki kosmos. Wszechświat jest ostrygą dla tych dusz, które służą. Wtedy człowiek jest gotowy do wejścia w kosmos. Wtedy człowiek jest gotowy, aby stać się częścią uniwersalnej społeczności, która została obiecana. Nigdy nie obiecywałem wam nieba. Zawsze obiecywałem wam elewację człowieka, aby przyłączył się do rodziny. A teraz macie klucz. To wy musicie otworzyć drzwi, aby zrozumieć, że mogę elewować duszę tych ludzi lub milionów innych dusz, że fizyczne życie na tej planecie zmieni się. Wtedy jestem godny bycia częścią społeczności uniwersalnej, by być, aby służyć, aby się rozwijać, by być tam, aby być częścią, że w cyklu życia wszechświata staje się w byciu częścią, staje się częścią totalności. Kiedy człowiek osiągnie ten punkt, pojawi się nowy wymiar w sile duszy człowieka, który jest poza wyobrażeniem zrozumienia życia fizycznego. To jest brama do otwarcia nowego życia w nowym wymiarze, co jest poza wyobrażeniem tego, co mogliście nazwać nowym początkiem, nowym cyklem, gdzie ten cykl niesie ze sobą źródło stworzenia życia we wszechświecie i unikosie. To jest elewacja duszy, aby służyć. Stała się kluczem. Nie tron życia fizycznego. Czas jest odpowiedni, nadszedł czas, aby człowiek przeszedł przez ten proces.
Witam wszystkich na 449 warsztatach poszukiwaczy wiedzy w języku polskim. Dzisiaj mamy 18 marzec 2021 rok, czwartek. I jak zwykle mamy kolejny warsztat, tłumaczenie kolejnego warsztatu. Jest to 371, pierwsza część tego wykładu. Jeszcze kilka słów chciałem dodać na temat warsztatów, które po prostu tutaj w czwartki i w niedzielę organizujemy. W zasadzie samo tłumaczenie. Zmieniła się ta forma biegiem czasu, kiedy coraz mniej ludzi jakby prowadziło dyskusje w tych warsztatach. Być może wynikiem tego są nauki, które są naprawdę dosyć głębokie, jeżeli chodzi o plazmę, o duszę, o zrozumienie tych nauk. I ciężko nam jest się w niektórych kwestiach wypowiadać. Być może nawet nagrywając to publicznie. Łatwiej jest pewnie w gronie porozmawiać w krótkim jakimś takim spotkaniu. I postanowiliśmy zmienić tą trochę formę. Miało być tak, by znieść całkowicie te warsztaty, ale zrobimy tak, że będziemy puszczać tłumaczenie cotygodniowe, tak jak zawsze, ale niekoniecznie jako w formie warsztatu, tylko tłumaczenia. Będzie też chyba raczej streamowane to dalej na YouTube. Wiemy, że od 20 marca rusza telewizja. Też nie wiemy do końca, jaka forma będzie tego, czy będziemy tłumaczyć jakieś tam fragmenty. W każdym bądź razie będzie można też upubliczniać tam poprzez wysłanie jakichś plików, ale to też kwestia zobaczenia, jak to się po prostu potoczy. Dzisiaj jest nas mniej trochę osób, z tego co widać po wczorajszych rozmowach. Jeżeli chodzi o takie spotkania wieczorne, no to na pewno jest dużo takich platform. Jest też na YouTubie, pewnie wiecie, gdzie tego szukać. Jest dużo grup. Nie chciałbym tu trzymać się jednej grupy, bo jest ich naprawdę dużo. Nie wiem, na Facebooku na pewno. Na Zoomie znam jedną tak naprawdę. Jest to Pomorskie Laboratorium Plazmy i Systemów Balansujących. Tam ogólnie to jest ten kanał cały czas dostępny. Wieczorem. Tak więc zapraszam tam, jeżeli chcielibyście porozmawiać, jak cokolwiek, coś zrobić, no to tam mogę to polecić. W każdym bądź razie na pewno jest wiele takich innych gałęzi fundacyjnych. Także też zapraszam. No jest dużo innych portali, które się też zajmują technologią plazmową Instytutu Kosmicznego Fundacji Keshe. Tak więc co? Myślę, że Hubert tak był, ale to takie spotkanie mieliśmy organizacyjne, żeby po prostu nie prowadzić tego w takiej formie, jaka była, tylko po prostu zrobimy same tłumaczenie, a jeżeli chodzi o jakieś rozmowy, bo i tak tutaj nikt po prostu głosu nie zabierał ostatnio, także nie będziemy się wysilać w tej formie, jak ma być sesja nienagrywana, to łatwiej po prostu nam jest ogarnąć to i sami wiecie, że jak nie jest to nagrywane, to łatwiej wam się po prostu rozmawia. Tak więc zapraszam na inne jakby platformy. Nie twierdzę, że nie wrócimy do tej formy, jaka była. Na ten czas po prostu jest tak, jak jest. Robimy tłumaczenie i myślę, że to jest najważniejsze. Każdy może jakby otworzyć jakąś grupę, kanał, a jeżeli nie, no to dołączyć do tych grup, które są mu najbliższe. I to będzie myślę, że najlepszym rozwiązaniem. Tak więc odnajdziemy się na pewno. Zawsze jak ja będę puszczał tutaj ten warsztat, tłumaczenie, to można jeszcze na czacie coś napisać. Można na Facebooku napisać, kto uważa, jeżeli chodzi o jakąś formę, o jakąś zmianę, czy ktoś jakby coś miał do poszukiwania. Może być. Jeszcze planowaliśmy coś zrobić na Telegramie, ale jeszcze to są takie powijaki. Co jeszcze chciałbym dodać? W każdym bądź razie będziemy też tłumaczenie publikowali właśnie też na pomorskim, czytane, także to też będzie łatwiej. I to też będzie raz chyba w tygodniu cały warsztat po prostu puszczony, taki, żeby można było sobie po prostu odsłuchać to lub obejrzeć i odsłuchać, bo w zależności czy będzie coś pokazywane na tablicy, coś rysowane, no to każdy będzie wiedział, w jakiej formie będzie chciał to po prostu odsłuchiwać. Tak więc, żeby nie przedłużać, to zaczniemy ten warsztat 371, a w niedzielę odsłuchamy drugą część tego warsztatu. Jeśli ktoś chciałby zabrać oczywiście głos dzisiaj, no to też zapraszam. Może jakieś sugestie, jakieś pytania, to również. Może na początku, jeżeli nie będzie pytań, to przejdziemy do odsłuchu, do oglądania. Tak więc myślę, że wyjaśniłem po części, więc zaczynamy oglądać. Myślę, że będzie bardzo interesujące, ponieważ ja też jeszcze tego nie słuchałem, także zaczynamy.
Who I believe is ready, willing, and able to begin today's workshop. Hello, Mr. Keshe.
Yes, good morning, good day to you. As usual, wherever and whenever you listen to this series of Knowledge Seekers program of Keshe Foundation worldwide. We'll welcome you back to 371st teaching of the Keshe Foundation. This is the first teaching of the 8th year completed. 6th of March 2014 is when we did the first broadcast of the series of Knowledge Seekers. And today is the first day of the teaching after that date. So we have actually entered the 8th year of teaching in Keshe Foundation Knowledge Seekers program, even though we had a number of other teaching with Rick before we started this series of Knowledge Seekers. In a way, 8 years of non-stop teaching, adding to knowledge, extending the beauty of the creations, understanding by every one of us. And during past 8 years, each one of us has taken something from it, added to our life, added to our knowledge, added to something that maybe in the future becomes part of us, or in a way might save our lives, or might change our lives. This technology belongs to humanity and not to one or one group. Or if you're just a knowledge seekers, you have a privilege and the rights to use it. It's the responsibility of all the knowledge seekers to share the technology and the knowledge unconditionally. In a way, we've seen many knowledge seekers put courses to share the knowledge, and they use it as a teaching tool, like the teachers of the past, in making a living, but teaching the way the knowledge, the new technology is. Try to share it correctly and try to share it unconditionally. It does not matter who, where, and when, and does not matter if he has a reward or not. In so many ways, if we take a summary of the 8 years of teaching, it's very simple. We have achieved our ultimate goal in a way to start what we call the peace process, in a way to initiate the first stages of knowledge in exchange for peace. As I explained last week, Keshe Foundation has taken the steps, and these steps will be firmed and confirmed in coming days and weeks by participating and being part of the structure to create peace, condition for peace. You got to learn one thing: mankind has killed for thousands of years. Mankind has seen solution only through wars, and for thousands of years, victory has been to share the wealth and the women amongst the winners, and the rest lose lives, men or women or animals. To change this habit is not easy. At the same time, when you change the habit, to keep man in the habit of peace will not be easy. Man will fail many times and goes back on the old habit to find solution to satisfy his ego. But we have to bring a condition that brings that change through the new technology, and be there to support the nations, the leaders, and the rest to become peaceful. They will fall. The job of the knowledge seekers, Universal Council members, is to be there to catch, but not to humiliate, but to encourage. Let's take the next step. There is another step. We'll reach it, and gradually we'll find peace. In so many ways, as I always say, when you have a damaged disc, when you go to a chiropractor, he puts it out the first time. The body sees the correct way, but again it falls back in its old habit. You go to the chiropractor for a second time, he puts it back in again, and this time it falls back a little bit. And then the fourth and the fifth time, the body finds its original position. And this is the job of the Keshe Foundation knowledge seekers, to be that doctor, to be that he puts it right as the human race fails and he goes back to the old habit. He puts it back in again, encourages them for the beauty of the peace, encourages the human race to take another step. We will see huge changes in the coming time across the international scene, which Keshe Foundation has set up to do. As I speak, at the same time as here, the Iranian leader, His Eminence Ayatollah Khamenei of Iran, is giving a speech to the Iranian nation in the backbone of the move of the Keshe Foundation and in what we will do in the coming time. I respect and honor His Eminence Ayatollah Khamenei of Iran on a peaceful path and not on any other path. We stand behind all the nations to confirm our power of peace through exchange for knowledge and technology. We are very much on the same path as everybody else. A dream we sell to our children, but we have never managed to deliver. Now the dream has a chance to become a reality and become part of the peace walk, part of the way we take pace and part of the way we take shape. We have become very much synchronized with many world leaders, and in a coming time, we'll take that step. My job, the position I have, is to encourage the leaders of the world. Your job as knowledge seekers is to do the same with them and with your nationals. Encourage the man to change the habit with new technologies. In a coming time, we will see, as we announced last week, taking steps towards peace, the Iranian universities will offer degrees again back in nuclear, which now has been demolished in most of the Western world. You cannot get nuclear degrees anymore. We were the last generations, more or less, who managed to get engineering degree and PhDs in development of the new technology of nuclear. And in mid-1980s, no one wanted to have to train nuclear physicists. Now the Iranian universities will start teaching nuclear plasma physicists back again as part of the sharing the knowledge with the rest of the world. This is the way not only we show nuclear is safe, but we bring the nuclear to be part of the space technology development for peace. I respect the offices of Iranian leadership and Sepah of Iran in standing firm side by side with the side of peace and knowledge, and in a way to take steps to create the first steps for peace. We will announce in the coming days, prior to the Iranian New Year or during the Iranian New Year, a new position for peace for not only the nation of Iran, but the whole humanity. In so many ways, we take steps to make sure peace is fair, in respect of color, race, religion, or creed. As I said, till 21st of March, our teaching is mainly gathering and bringing what we have done and seeing the beauty of 8 years of teaching. 20 years of spreading knowledge and 40 years of direct line working and trying to bring the knowledge across the scientific organizations. As I said last week, and as is the concern of Iranian security for my life, I told them my life worth nothing if we cannot reach peace. And if it happens, it happens. But if we can achieve peace, we'll find out it has a lot of dividend. As I said, our children would not know the name of war. Our grandchildren will live in a world that there is no hunger and there is no position to be only passengers of Earth, but we become passengers of the universe. In so many ways, the peace process has started. You will see it in the coming days and weeks. And as I said, in so many ways, we have laid down the roadmap for peace. But in a way, we have to still teach our leaders to be reserved and to accept the condition for the better will of technology to take over and change humanity. As I said to our American counterparts and Europeans in the past few days, the best thing which happened to mankind has been Corona. Because with Corona, we cannot move soldiers. With Corona, we cannot bring tools of war in a position to even contemplate on it. We see skirmishes with the little metal things in the air, dropping few metal things and thinking we are big. But in fact, the beauty of it is the small things will be more powerful. The power of the plasma technology not only will change the condition of the man, but through its application will change the emotion of the man. In so many ways, we'll become peaceful. In so many ways, for the first time, we all drink from the chalice of peace. When we give that cup of life to the world leaders, when we give that cup of life to the man in Amazon, when we give that cup of life to a man in China, we all not only go to save our physicality, but we elevate our emotion and our souls too. This is what I call the beautiful word of what we call, in Farsi we have a name for it, an arrow with two heads. We call it Jubi, which means interacts at the same time, at the same place, and it brings two changes. In so many ways is yin and yin, in so many ways is man to find peace in the dimension of physicality and the soul. In so many ways, 8 years of work, teaching has started paying dividend. We might see some skirmishes, but this is the way the children play. We always see the weakest pokes a little to see what's the reaction of the big one. And then you say, you see, you did this and that to me because you're big. But he doesn't say that I did the first poking. We have learned this through the way that the British structure has run for centuries. In olden days, British used to send one soldier to the camp of the Africans, and then they used to kill one or hurt two, and when they came to take revenge, they got them all with the guns they had or whatever they had, and they said, you attacked us, now you're our subordinate. As I advised to the world leaders in past few days, we should not react to a needle and have to stay reserved and contemplate on a bigger picture of peace. In so many ways, skirmishes is just for the little ones to confirm they exist. The big ones have to be serene and glorified, and in that process, bring the message and the work of peace forward. Many of you have understood why we have gone this way, because that's the only way. The technology is complete. The technology on its verge of application is complete. We need the nations to agree that we can put the car on the road. The roadmap for peace has to be the only way that the cars of the future will run. This is the way we see it, and that's the way we deliver it. It's important for all of us to understand the beauty of it and translate this to our leaders. The whole structure of life is simple. Mankind has been made to be kind and to love and cannot kill. And if we bring that to humanity, mankind will move into the next step. We have taken the initiative, and the Keshe Foundation knowledge seekers will take steps gradually, especially on the launch of the Keshe Foundation television next week. We will take these steps. I have requested from Iranian leadership to be the first nation to sign a peace treaty in public. And I have requested to be done on the celebration of Iranian New Year. If we achieve this, the first step for one of the most leading nuclear scientists, development technology nations of the world, committing themselves to peace as they have been for past 300 years, will encourage many nations to sign after, and we start the process. My request goes to Zemina Said al-Khamni of Iran and the Iranian Sepah to become the protector of the humanity and not only the nation of Iran, in a way to share knowledge in depths of understanding of the universe as we all become member of the Sepah of universe. In a way we share knowledge unconditionally, and in a way we have the ear of the leaders to understand that the only path is the development of the new technology, to walk away from the habit of the past. It'll be very hard, but the man of reason understand, and a man of intelligence will act directly to understand. We get one chance, and this chance has come with the development of new technology. As I said, we have invited His Excellency President Biden to Tehran. The invitation stands on behalf of the Iranian nation, the Keshe Foundation, and soon by the leaders of those who run and lead Iran. This invitation is to show the nuclear technology of Iran directly to those who are concerned, and with them to bring scientists to develop more together. As the nuclear technology of today is the backbone of understanding the space travels of the future. As you remember, I showed you a picture from Linz Center where what we call plasma radiation is the backbone of the space travel, and the background, what we call the enhancement unit, is the backbone to life in the space. We cannot travel the depth of the space if we do not have access to the nuclear technology, because we cannot fly the depth of the universe. We cannot exist and we cannot operate if we do not bring forward that operation. It is the responsibility of us to bring this in forward. Can you please allow me to share screen, please, on both the screens? In so many ways, it is the responsibility of us to understand the technology and to be able to share the knowledge in a direct way. In so many ways, if the mankind wants to become the man of space, this will be difficult if the man has no understanding of the technology of the nuclear and plasma radiation. And in so many ways, it's the biggest stumbling block and what has stopped mankind to develop to the next step. Excuse me, Stanley, can you open both channels for me to be able to share a screen? In so many ways, mankind has to understand the totality of the knowledge of deep space. In so many ways, mankind needs to move forward with understanding of the totality of the knowledge. In so many ways, we need to extend the knowledge to the point that we can share knowledge in totality and not in parts. Maybe soon we can understand more and we can do more. Maybe in totality of understanding, for travel into the deeper space, we need to understand nuclear plasma technology radiation. Otherwise, we cannot operate. We cannot take life into space when we cannot support the environment for the life to exist and for the life to extend. This is the responsibility of many of us, to be able to share the knowledge of space in full understanding of the technology. As I said many times before, if we create life, we have to maintain its environment. And to maintain a weaker structure like life, we need a stronger structure to be able to hold our life. And we have to be able to understand the totality of the knowledge of space in respect to total understanding of the technology. We need to become experts in space. We need to become have the total understanding of creating the weaker and the stronger. And the stronger comes out of the space plasma technology for motion, where the weakest will come from the technology to understand the containment. In a way, we cannot have life if we don't have the environment of the earth. In a way, we cannot have life within a man if we don't have the power of the soul of the man to envelop it. So in this process, we all need to understand the totality. And this only comes by understanding the essence of the nuclear plasma radiation and how man abandoned one of the most important paths of his development in technology and nuclear has baffled me for years. With the smallest thing we saw, instead of finding solution for, we panicked and we took hide in every hole possible in the world of science. We did not go to see what created and caused the Fukushima. We did not go to understand in totality how we could overcome what happened in Russian nuclear reactors when it happened in Chernobyl. With the smallest panic, with the smallest move, we panicked and we took hide behind the walls of leaving the technology. We became the thieves of Baghdad. In a way, we stole what we could, we made nuclear weapons, and when it came to see the effect of it on us, we hide in every hole in the world of the knowledge, and we disclaimed it, we had to shut it down. Mankind should have taken the next step in nuclear technology to understand more of where it went wrong and develop technologies to use the powers of the radiation and the nuclear fields to go to the next step. And this became one of the biggest pitfalls in the world of the science at the time. Now we're reviving the nuclear industry, the understanding of the nuclear with plasma, and becoming a tool of enhancement for man to achieve the travel into deep space. In so many ways, now you understand why we emphasize on the development of what we call the space nuclear reactors during and the process of the teaching and in development with the space travel programs in Iran. Because without one, we cannot go to the other. We cannot travel the depth of space if we do not understand the work of one in respect to the other. We have to understand that to maintain life in every dimension that we understand needs the full understanding of the nuclear plasma radiation in the depth of space. It is our responsibility and our duty to enhance this in a very rapid way. How can we create life in these machines? How can we be able to use these new technologies, and how we can bring the environment to live within when we do not understand the space nuclear plasma radiation technology? What you see, the two units in front of you, as I shown before, is the edge of science and technology in combination of environment and the life within it. The two nuclear-based reactors of Iran, which you see in the front, is the cornerstone of the travel into the deep space. And what you see in the background as an enhancement unit is what will give the life a chance to live within this environment. We can travel now with nuclear reactors, field radiation, creating high level of plasmas using nuclear materials. And then once we created the ignition of creating the plasma in that strength to absorb the fields of the universe inside our reactors, we do not need any more nuclear-based structure. In space, this is how life starts. This is what is the essence of creation of the black hole. We bring in a few fields, and then with it, we gather more. And then we decide the condition and position of what, where, and how we operate with what we started. It's like we take two stones and rub it against each other, or hit it against each other to start that kindle start lightning. That kindle flash, that the stars, the kindle of the fire, and then the fire takes hold. This is exactly what will happen in the space. We need the full understanding of the nuclear technology to be able to start that kindle light. Then, by creating that inside our reactors, we can absorb the energies of the universe, not only within our reactors, but be able to support life of every dimension in our spacecraft. Now you see the beauty of the technology. Now you understand the essence of creation, and now you understand you cannot have life in the middle of nowhere if you don't create the condition for it to manifest itself. This is where I started to teach man at the beginning the essence of the environment, how to create an environment for man to be able to travel and live through what we've seen as the Iranian nuclear-based reactors in the front, and then in the process of creating that condition, creating a secondary condition that life can exist within it and control within it with the enhancement unit, which is manufactured in Austria and China. Keshe Foundation is a collective knowledge of humanity in every corner of this planet. And we take lead in opening the first universities, the first international courses for nuclear plasma radiation in the University of Iran. And then from there on, we spread the knowledge to other universities across the world. As I said to my leaders in Iran, do not worry about anything, as Iran has taken shape to bring humanity to peace condition. But we have to do it with the strength of knowledge and not guns. And it's understood fully by the Iranian leaders and Sepah. We take the path of peace and we set example for the rest of the nations to follow us. We've been a peaceful nation, and usually we learn from those who have walked the path, not the talk. Gun policy to create peace by the new children of this planet like United States has to be handled by the wisdom of the nations who have been here thousands of years with their empires, and have seen that there is no solution in war. This is what the message of knowledge seekers has to be, and will set and will lead this path forward to understand the totality of understanding of the position of man in respect to himself. And if we find peace within the man, we'll find peace for man in the space and the universal community. As I said, we push forward and we explain more. This is what the heads of the Keshe Foundation have been pushing me for weeks, trying to explain the technology. We explain how the ganses and the reasons are for it. Now we explain the bigger picture, the application of the technology worldwide for not only our nations, not only for our leaders, but for humanity to move forward into the next step. Many times, many people walked in lengths in the what we call exhibition center. They just saw pieces of reactors. They came to see the glory of the big machine in the back, but they never stand still to see the beauty was in the first two reactors right at the front when you walk in. You can't have the environment in the back if you have not created the environment for it to exist in the front two small reactors. We have a beautiful saying Farsi. We say, if you want, don't look at the small size of the pepper, break it and see how strong it is to burn you. And the nuclear reactors in the front, they burn the thirst for man to be in space, and the big ones in the back create a condition of the comfort in it. The space technology in the hand of the Keshe Foundation and most of your knowledge seekers is one of the most powerful technologies mankind has ever known. Now that slowly we unravel the knowledge. In a way, the reactors, when man will become more knowledgeable, smaller than the Iranian nuclear reactors, plasma technology at the front, which they create the dimension of the universe, that man will be able to live within the structure of the planetary system in them. Even we go further to understand the technology, that there are even smaller reactors that allows the man to travel the span of the universes. Remember, in the center of every atom, there is a principal matter. It doesn't matter electron, proton, or neutron. And in that center is the essence of the fields of the universe, the essence of the creation of unicos. So we have come from one to another. We have come to be understanding the totality that life starts in the center of the fields of the universe, very much in the center of the life, very much in understanding the totality of the essence of the creation. And in that process, we can achieve much more if we come to understand that the universe has a very simple structure. That the smaller you get, the more powerful you become to create more conditions. And the bigger you get in the looser plasma allows you to create life and condition. This is where the earth is, and this is where the creator. As in compactness, it has the strength of the full order of magnitude. And this is what many of knowledge seekers have never understood. In so many ways, we have become the passengers of the universe without, in fact, understanding the totality. In so many ways, we become what we see and what we know as totality of the knowledge. Up to now, I have taught you about this and partially this. And in a coming time, those of you who become wise to the understanding of the operation of your soul might move to this. And those of you who become the center of knowledge,
Hello, Mr. Keshe. I'm missing your audio. Is it just me, or is it global?
I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yes, very clearly now.
Yeah.
We just missed that last part when you got to the climax there, the sound.
What do you mean? Where?
The creator part. We heard the first three, And you got to the creator and then it went silent.
Which part of the creator? How
Just
long have I
before-
been silent?
Just
a few
for a sentence or two. Yeah.
Yes,
just the
because
last
the
part.
internet dropped. No
Just
problem.
the last part, the last circle in your diagram.
Yep. What do you mean, the big one or the small one?
Smallest one. You were working.
Did you see the? Did you see the red lines?
To the creator.
Did
We
you
got
get
to
the red light?
creator. We got to the creator, and that was it. It went.
Oh, but did you see the red lights? Red lines underneath.
Yes, we saw the red lines under the.
Okay, no
two-
problem.
Under the.
I think.
two there, the two.
Yeah, I think the creator
not the
didn't want you
last
to
one.
know much more. I think the
It was one of
creator
those-
didn't want you. One of those things.
times, yeah.
He said, "Enough is enough. You're teaching too much.
You
You're going
got
too far."
really, really close there.
Yes, in a way, to understand the process of teaching is very simple. As I said, you have to understand these next couple of weeks of teaching, that you're ready to move into the understanding of the fields of the plasma and creation. In so many ways, as I said before, and maybe I have the pictures, but it's clear. In so many ways to understand the simplicity of the knowledge and the technology is that mankind, in so many short ways, have to understand the creation of itself. To go from what I call the creator to man has taken billions of years. With a new technology from now on, depending on the sincerity of the man to serve the creator, this should not take long. Because you don't need to travel the whole length to go back. All you need to go within, and you find the creator as it sits within the center of all of us. It's the essence of his creation within us, being an atom, to be the human race, the center of the soul of the man. He has never forgotten us, but we forgot about him. He's never been far from us, but we made a distance from him by conflict, by wars, and by separation and division. This is the essence of creation. And in the coming time, by teaching the essence of the creation of the fields, magnetic fields of the universe, mankind soon will find the path to essence of the life of the creator within his own creation. We need to understand where we came from and how we came to be where we are through the understanding of the interaction of the fields. In so many ways, it is a very big question. And I'll put this to you in another way. Does the soul of the man lead to creation of a lower strength dimension in life of the next step? Or would it move back in this direction? Wouldn't that be what we say the punishment for the soul? And wouldn't that be what you call as humans the gift? How much further we move through the creation of our soul to the creator, and how closer we come to understand it is the essence of what man has called heaven and hell. When you're away and you go further from what you love, it creates pain. And the closer you get, it brings joy and happiness to be able to exist. Is that the true essence of what the whole religious leaders and religions have been trying to tell us, but they couldn't find a way to do it. And now we can understand it. And now, in so many ways, not only we have to have respect to go in this direction, but help those who went that way to make the U-turn. If they want to, if we allow it for them to learn the next process. In so many ways, humanity has reached the point of evolution in its soul, not evolution in the dimension of its physicality. Darwinism brought understanding of the evolution and creation of what we call mankind. Maybe the Keshe Foundation technology brings the understanding of the evolution through the soul of the man. Then we understand is the soul which is creator of the physicality, which in the environment of its existence creates evolution to fit it. But what is the position of the soul of the man in evolving to new dimensions through new understanding of its own strength? Maybe gradually by teaching and enlightening our world leaders, they become the next people who will bring the soul of the man to be close. Maybe in having religious leaders as the leaders of the nation and them understanding the both, they bridge the two and we bring the religion and science in one go, in one position. There is no one better in that position than to be a leader of scientific structure and a religious leader than Ayatollah Khamenei of Iran. That he brought Iran to such a position in scientific world to understand the essence of creation of nuclear and at the same time understand the essence of theology and religion. Maybe the time has come for mankind to unite in both dimensions. And we see this to sit within the structure of the understanding of the both, where the theology and science become one and become the cause of unifying man with universal community, where we understand the totality. In division, we find trouble. In unifying, we find peace and development and progress. And this is the whole essence of the Keshe Foundation technology. To bring mankind to that point, and we are on the verge of that achievement. Many of you will understand soon why we took this path and why we created these conditions past centuries. Because that was the only way to show how far wrong man has gone, and was the shortest way to stop the animosity and the killing by man of his own and the others' impacts of energy. In so many ways, in most of the teachings, I try to teach to elevate the soul of the man, the knowledge of the man, and with it for mankind to become peaceful with itself. Maybe in a short time, we will see the peace dividend of the technology development and the Keshe Foundation technology. As I said, many world leaders see solution in war and division. And some world leaders have started to look inwards and understand that the religions have to become one, and in so many ways one cannot be any better than the other, as they all in essence carry the essence of the creation and the creator in them. Now you understand how simple over past 8 years and for the past 40 years, since I was given a pen of science to write, I tried to change what I call the space technologies. I'm the only scientist that the NASA forum blocked out because I was teaching too much and it was showing Americans have no knowledge of this true space technology. And in so many ways, when we set up the knowledge seekers, this became a platform, a forum for everyone to understand. And in the coming week, in next 10 days, the knowledge seekers create the platform of the Keshe Foundation Television to be able to teach visually the successes of past years, understanding of new technology, and sharing forward. We need huge financial support to be able to take this through. And we see that as part of the structure of the Keshe Foundation in what we do within ourselves, that we do not sell ourselves to no nation, to no companies, to no organization, but Keshe Foundation internally stays resolute and carries on this process. As I said, we thank those who have supported us to this point, and those who've been generous in past times and recent times to support us to be able to reach another step forward. In so many ways, collectively, we need more support to be able to deliver and stand resolute that the others join us. You have to understand, the world leaders now, one by one, are getting cornered themselves. We have seen how one of the most powerful men in the Western world, as a French president, in past few days has been sentenced to prison for corruption. It shows those who sat at the head of leading us as the head of what we call United Nations and being part of the peace process themselves were naive and fault within them. And now you can see what other bribes and position has been taken to bring us into wars. We see other world leaders as they leave office one by one, finding themselves in prison and in all sorts of shapes and forms for corruption. And this is what will bring us to the point that the world leaders, what we call leaders, have to understand from the outset that there should be no corruption in any field and dimension. We've seen that these people have committed many atrocities, but they hid themselves behind the screen of the power. And now the governments and the nationals do not allow that. So how much more these world leaders have taken to take us into wars for their own financial benefit, for their own pocket, and how much many of us have paid for this with our lives, with our refugees, and with everything else we've done. I raised this point once before, and maybe now you understand. Would we have refugees from another planet and another universes? Or would we, by atrocities we take across if we don't learn the language of peace, by expanding into the universal community, then we have to become back refugees because of the conduct of us in the space, or our people back into areas where we don't want to be. This is the reason we teach the ethos of the peace to become ingrained in the soul of the man and not in the dimension of physicality. That does not allow the man to make the mistake in the physical dimension. In the next few weeks, we will see the process of peace. In the next few weeks, we will see changes, not by us, but what we have done to initiate the steps for peace. Understanding the process of creation, understanding the process of totality in every aspect of life becomes important to all of us, irrespective of which part of the universe we come from. In a way, it's not anymore nationality, creed, race or religion, but it comes which part of the universe too, which planet, and which galaxy, and which universe we come from, and which way and how closer our universe is to the essence of the creation and the creator. Then we value the closeness to creator in understanding his purpose and the source of creation, than possession and being in possession of meager things. If you understand the plasma technology, if you understand the essence of the creation in the life of the creator, to man, gold has been the most precious thing. Then we find that we have found gold in the life and essence of the creator. That is how man values. And we find out that in truth we have reached a mild stepstone to understand ourselves. And in understanding ourselves, to take the next step in the understanding of totality. In so many ways, the space technology, now that we have created the plasma nuclear reactors, now has to understand how much more and how a stronger plasmatic radiation fields he needs to understand and develop to be able to start this path of evolution. On this side, we went through the evolution of physicality. In this path, we go through the evolution of the soul and the creator. Mankind has now, with our teaching, the opportunity to choose either path. And this is the first time we ever have given any race such opportunity. This is why we taught you the knowledge of the spaceship and the knowledge of physical transportation. And at the same time, in the past 2 years, we taught you the second path, the path of the evolution and motion towards the direction of the understanding of the essence of the creation and the creator. As I said from the beginning, now it might make sense to you why we taught both. Because this way, nobody will fool no one in the future that they know the way to jump from one to another, as has been in the path of those who created theology. This way, man at the source would decide his own faith to go this way or to take this way, or decide to have a position to move from one to another. And this has been the purpose of the teaching, as you understand and you go and listen to all path teachings. We brought the book number 1 for you to understand the essence of the origin of the creation of matter, if you want to take the path number 1. And then with the book number 3, we showed you the path to number 2. Essence of the creation, creation of universe, creation of life and the creator. And then through book number 2, we showed you this, the path of travel. It is simple when You have taught it so many times across the universe to many races. I've been a teacher for a long time, as I've taught the knowledge to every race I have created. And in that process, when you learn firsthand through the knowledge of understanding of the creation through the master and the creator, man does not need to accept any other teacher except the essence of the creation of his own soul. The knowledge which sits with you knowledge seekers from the beginning is the knowledge of both and the path from one to another. And in so many ways, in understanding one, you can choose the path. You can jump in and go further and become physical and see what it is in this dimension. And then go back in the dimension of the soul and go to inner sanctums of more what we call detachment, what we call love, to move one step further, to see how life is and how it could be. You need to go into the center of the universe to find a path to another universe, not to travel to the edge of the universe to jump into another universe, because the path of the creation sits within the center and not the dimension of physicality of the trouble to find a way. In time, many of you knowledge seekers will understand this. This is why I explain to you in many of the teachings why you have to learn to go from dimension of the soul expansion to bring the physicality in, that in so many ways you jump in from one to another and you come in, you speed up, you go out and see how it is, or you want to go back in. The teaching of conversion of the soul and physicality is not for you to understand, to go from New York to Washington or to Beijing. The teaching was to teach you how to travel and see every dimension of the creation in the unicos of the Creator. But as man always is self-centered and sees his own, you all gather, that's the way we teach. If you reach that point, you'll find elevation. You'll find more understanding. As what I have taught with you, all of you, in the past decades, is like if you take the knowledge of the creation to be the whole of what we have to be on this screen, the knowledge which I have shown you and taught you is this dot. Maybe a fraction of this dot on this screen, and not even anywhere close to the center dot. So you might think you know everything, but when you look at this blank sheet and listening and understanding the essence of the creation as we have created it, to know you're nothing but even smaller than that dot on the screen, you find out how humble man has to become, that he still knows nothing in the totality of the knowledge of the Creator, which is the fullest screen. But he still stays humble in the center as his field of knowledge expands the whole of the universe. Maybe some of you who become humble enough will find a path slowly to him. But for some this takes billions of years, and for some who understand it, a second. Those who make that path in a second, we look at the humanity and cry for his misconduct of the past time and how to elevate it, to find a way at least to move one step further in knowledge and understanding that stops the present creation of the problems for itself and other creatures on this planet. Maybe what we need to teach in the future is how life has evolved from the creator to become an interaction to reach mankind in the totality of its dimension. Now you understand why from the beginning I used this picture. Because as you evolve, you learn more and you add. And in a way, the more further you go, the field strength to go back to creator becomes stronger as you find peace within the creator. And that's what we call gravity. Gravitation is the path to the creator, not the path to hold on. And man one day will understand the essence of gravity in the nuclear plasma field technology. And then he will understand how feeble has been to call gravity 1G and 9.18 or whatever. In so many ways, we have to understand our soul is gravitated towards the dimension of the soul of the creator, like the raindrop, which as the essence of evaporation has went up and is going back to. In a way, as the rays of the sun is going out, reaching the point of understanding of a balance of the strength in the field, make their way back as planetary system to the essence of creation, the sun. There is no difference for the soul of the man. We came from and we go back to. But in essence, on going back, we create a stronger condition. We create a much bigger fields that allows us to reach and be able to obtain bigger gravities that in essence, by creator being humble, he attracts us by the law of plasma to feed him, that we become humble enough to become him. Now you understand, maybe, where the technology and the teaching in the coming weeks and months and years will become. I can stay with mankind for thousands of years as I have done so to teach more. But now the evolution of understanding the essence of the creation through understanding of the space and dimension of the fields of interaction makes it much easier to teach, till man reaches to another point of understanding. As I said from the beginning, from the first teachings, each one of you will take from this technology according to your understanding, according to your outtake from the truth about yourself within yourself. And then we take the next step. And then we understand the next understanding. And then we understand the totality of the structure of life. It has to be understood that life means life in the dimension of the creator, not life in the dimension of physicality of the man. If you manage to go through the process of evolution and transmutation in the field, the strength of the creator, then you have truly understood the process of creation, not in the process of transmutation of elements and the fields of the physicality. Now we reach a critical point in the totality of the teaching. Which way do the knowledge seekers would like the teaching to go? Would you like us to explain more in the dimension of physicality? Or would the knowledge seekers in the coming weeks and months are more interested to know the evolution of the fields of the creation in the dimension of nuclear plasma, radiation and fields? That is the path to the Creator. Creator did not come through the path of the matter state. It came through the transmission of the fields of the plasma in the dimension of the fields of radiating itself out, what we call the nuclear, or the nucleus, or what we call the Creator. Which path would the knowledge seekers would like to go? We go on a path of the physicality, or we choose a path to the Creator in knowledge and technology. Will bring a lot of sacrifices in letting the physicality not to exist, open man to the new dimension of understanding. Many of you will fail, as I've said from the beginning. The knowledge seekers will take from this knowledge according to their intelligence and understanding of the totality of the creation. You do not need to have a degree to be a doctor or a professor. You can be a man in the villages of Amazon and be enlightened to see the light of the Creator, while the rest of humanity takes billions of years, if ever they manage to see that. Elevation of the soul of the man has no university and no courses, but understanding the true essence of giving and being there to be able to receive from giving, without condition, without expectation, but in the process of understanding the life of the creation in the universe. Today, I have opened a huge Pandora box for many of you, if you understood the essence of the teaching. In the past few weeks, I have hidden the teaching with the physical condition of what is in the life of the man, because then many of you can relate to it. What I call the essence of the teaching in past few weeks sits within the realm of the soul of physicality, and you decide which way you switch, which way you want to take, and then you decide on performance and on your preference, where and which way, and how close you want to be to the soul of the Creator, or enjoy the dimension of physicality on the path to Him in some points. Then you understand the life of the soul is eternal. It's the man who decides where does this train stops for a while, in which station, before it starts the next journey to the destination. Destination is the soul of Creator, and the train is very long and very slow. And man decides on which stop he wants to take off and when he wants to get back in, as this train has no beginning and no end, and we call it life. But this time life is the cycle of the soul of the man, not the dimension of physicality of the man as the man is used to. Now you see how theology and the reality of the creation and the Creator is the same. But man has taken by a fool to understand the theology is separate than the reality of the creation, the Creator, in the dimension of physicality and the soul of the man. Now you understand more. Now you see more. And now you understand the operation of the creation. Now in so many ways, with the teachings and what we hear and what to come, there is no path left for the world leaders and the humanity to take the path of the creation and the creator of peace. As I said many times, being here for thousands of years, never found peace. And now I have found peace in every dimension. And this is where we reach the point of reaching and becoming part of the essence of the creation and the creator. Many of you will not understand what this peace means, but when you have and when you achieve the totality of the desire to serve and be given a gift for what are called the path of work, then you understand where the peace comes from. The peace comes from when you see balance with everything you've done and you do, and in understanding the totality of the creation. And in so many ways, I have found peace. And I have found the beauty of loving within the peace that brings so much beauty. Commitment to serve for mankind to become peaceful with itself has many beauties and brings many things forward. And I have committed myself in the dimension of physicality for decades and centuries to bring man to this point. And in so many ways, we are at the verge of the transition. And by luck or by coincidence, many of you are part or witnesses to this change without you knowing, or you have been, and now you're waiting like the seed you sow to see the flowers of it to grow. In so many ways, there is no other way to do but this. And as I said in the coming teaching, we teach you the essence of the creation of the fields of the universe. The essence of the creation of the fields of the universe is and comes only and only through one way: the Creator itself. And now, in the coming months, in the coming years, as we teach more, we understand more how little we know and how much more we need to know to be able to become a bigger dot on the wide screen. And maybe, if we do not become arrogant by attaining it, we become humble enough to achieve it. I hope many of you today, and many of those who listen to the teaching of today in the future, become enlightened to find a path to the true life, to the true peace, and a way to live in both dimensions of the creation and the creator, and both ways to lead man to the essence of the creation, the origin of the magnetic fields, which is the creator itself, in the name of God. In so many ways, we have made a call. It's for you to find a path to reach where the call has come from. And the rest is man's understanding of his own process of creation and understanding of totality of the process of the creator. Now you understand where the teachings are about to go. As we start to speak about the fields, the creation of the fields, and the interaction of the fields, in how even the magnetical became gravitational, while the creator was radiating in magnetical, how gravity was created from it as the fields of its, what are called evidence, has become the fields of receiving what is not needed, that he becomes the purifier, what is needed to be given back to radiate further. If the creator is the converter of the magnetic to gravitational, so shall be the soul of the man. Then we understand more. Then we understand where the essence of the creation comes from and how detached mankind will come from. Maybe for the first time we understand a small fraction of the true love, which is the essence of the Creator. Maybe in essence of understanding, we become wise to the process of the creation and we become the true passengers of the universe in both dimensions. In so many ways, when the Keshe Foundation releases the transmutation of the energies and fields with the enhancement, what we call plasma field transportation units, then you understand, do you want to transmute in the physical dimension, or you want the system to be set to transmute the soul of the man to the new position and dimension? Then you understand what we meant, that mankind in the coming time will not give birth through the birth tunnel, but gives birth through understanding of the transmutation of the soul of the man, where the physicality will follow. This is the beauty of the essence of the creation, because we will not be chosen in different way, but they'll be chosen by the desire of the man to see what he likes. In a way, when we give birth to a child, I love to have a daughter, I see a daughter. My wife likes to have a son, you will see a son. But in essence, we see the dimension of the soul and the satisfaction of the soul to the dimension of physicality, because souls in so many ways have no gender. But the gender comes by understanding of the satisfying, the feeling and the emotion of the observer. Then we understand how even in some races of man, the gender is decided by the totality at the latter stages of the life, because what the totality wants to see shall receive. Maybe mankind become wise to understanding of the totality of the creation in the essence of the Creator. In this system, in this way, by understanding this, we take the next step to understand the total essence of the creation. I hope we have understood more, and I hope now you see the path of the teaching to come. That from now on, we speak about the essence of the fields of the creation, the origin of the fields of the Creator, which led to the creation of the man at a given strength. Maybe for the first time man understands that the womb of the mother is where the essence of the soul of the Creator gathers to manifest itself in the dimension of physicality. And this is where the respect and love comes for the mother and the woman. And this is, as I said, always, we respect and honor the mother. The last few days has been the day of the woman and the mother. And we pay our respect and love to both, as a mother and a woman. In no nation than the Iranian nation we ever been respecting the Creator as a woman, and that shall stay. Those who talk others are those from animosity of what they lost in that love, as they used to have, and in their punishment of their own soul by themselves have lost, not been taken away by us. In so many ways, mankind will take the next step to understand even the essence of creation of the womb. That do we need a womb of a mother to bring the essence of the creation of the fields of the Creator in the manifestation of the physicality of against man? Or can we create life by the essence of the soul of a man and a woman within the womb, that it then takes shape in the dimension of physicality as it is released in the bigger dimension of fields of the womb of the planet or the universe? Mankind has a lot to learn, and my respect and gratitude goes to those who are the mothers and the creators of the generation of life in every dimension, man or beyond. In so many ways, mankind has to reach a point of understanding of his own creation and the essence of where he decides to gather the fields of the Creator to lead to essence of the creation of what we call life in the dimension of physicality or in the dimension of the fields, the true transmutation of the fields and interaction of the nuclear plasma fields of the Creator becomes the essence of the creation. In so many ways, we have seen this. We have seen this by creation of life in the womb of the mother, or by essence of the creation of the fields of life when the two fish lay eggs in the river, in the environment of the two coming together without a womb. In a way, the womb of life is the river. And so mankind will learn to give life without the womb of the mother, but in the essence, allow love of the Creator in the span of the universe that has become the womb of the creation. Mankind one day will understand this, and mankind one day will become wise to the totality of the essence of the creation. I am the Creator, and within it, I carry the essence of the creation that with the beauty of understanding of the totality can teach freely for the others to understand, to elevate their souls, to understand the totality of the creation. Blessed are those souls who understand, as those who went the path of physicality failed many times. In so many ways, humanity has entered a new dimension. And in the coming weeks, by signing the world leaders to peace, mankind will start making the tools of progressive development of the physicality and soul of man, where the religion becomes the science, and the science becomes theology of understanding the path to the Creator through the true understanding of the man himself, and not by messengers and those who claim to bring the connection between the two. Man will decide the position of essence of it. As we just teach and you decide the path, you will be taught everything in all dimensions, and then you choose the way. The teaching to man is no different than we have taught to the other races in the universe, but each one in their own language. But in essence and totality, all will end in the same place and the same position, to lead the created to the Creator. It does not matter irrespective of the position, the place, and when it comes to smaller mind, race, religion, color, and creed. I hope I have enlightened you to see a bigger picture today, and with it to understand mankind is on the verge of breaking through, to understand the life in both dimensions in coming time. And with it, mankind will bring peace for himself, to himself, and those who live and are within him, and he is within. Maybe one day, the teaching of today will mean something to many of you as you elevated your soul to understand it. Maybe in a week time when you listen to the teaching of today, or in a year time, or in a decade, then you understand, I have been elevated without me understanding, without me knowing it, by understanding the origin, by becoming part of it, and by participating in it to bring peace to the others. Thank you for your time in trying to understand the essence of your own creation and the path you will take and you choose. But choose it wisely, and do not be prejudiced towards the physicality path or the soul path, but be proud that you can travel in both dimensions, or at least you're aware that you can do both. Do not expect to see the soul, as that will bring you to the demise of your physicality, as a man will never see the soul of himself, but he will see the essence of his soul by interaction with other fields and souls, to see his own beauty in the dimension of what he gives, what's reflected back on him, to be able to see the essence of his creation. Are there any questions?
Dziękuję za uwagę. To była pierwsza część tłumaczenia, więc zapraszam na drugą. Do dobrej nocy i do usłyszenia.